Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The bold and the beautiful recap is finally in for Wednesday, October 8, 2025. In today's episode, Deke Sharp, Harrison Cohn, commits a sin. John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, refuses to help Luna Nozawa, Lisa Yamada. Leigh Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda, tries to explain herself. Plus, Ridge Forrester, Thorsten Kaye, and Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, battle it out with Bill Spencer, Dawn Diamond, and Katie Logan, Heather Tom at the hospital office. Finn is reeling over Luna's bombshells. Not only is she alive, but she's pregnant with Will Spencer's Crew Morrow baby. She asks for an OB/GYN recommendation. The good doctor suggests the prison physician. Finn asks why she's behind bars. The lady says she's carrying the Spencer hair. In Leigh's office, she is busy working. Ridge and Taylor suddenly show up, demanding answers. Leigh slowly stands up, bracing for impact. Leigh explains she thought she could turn Luna into a better person, the girl she should have been. It didn't work, and Leigh regrets all of it. After the doctor apologizes, Ridge and Taylor take off. At the mansion, Bill hangs up the phone. The man tells Katie that Luna is almost far enough along to get a paternity test. They will get answers soon. Katie wants Bridget Forrester, Ashley Jones, to do the test so it can't be tampered with. Katie suddenly wonders where Luna is right now. They search the mansion and come up empty. As they start to panic, Luna enters and declares she had to see her dad. Then Finn bursts through the door, demanding answers from Bill. The man says that Luna will get a paternity test soon and they'll ensure it's not tampered with. Luna announces they should be happy since the baby is going to change all of their lives. Finn says it doesn't change a thing for him. He still needs to protect Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline Metzins Wood, and the kids from her. Suddenly, Ridge and Taylor barge in. They demand answers. Luna must go back to prison today, Trige says. At Forrester Creations, Deke is still talking to Hope. Although he won't give any intel about his lover, Deke needs a favor. He needs a way into the business and he swears his talent will speak for itself. Hope would be glad to help. Hope leaves Deke in the office alone. That is when Deke takes snapshots of applicants' designs. Then he scampers out of the office, thinking he's going to get away with it. Wednesday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful was nothing short of explosive. The kind that reminded viewers why Los Angeles' most glamorous families can't go more than 5 minutes without a betrayal, a confession, or an emotional showdown. Secrets were finally dragged into the light, old wounds reopened, and a few hearts began to heal, or at least tried to. With Dake's deception rocking the foundation of several lives, Bill and Katie facing a painful reckoning, and Leigh making a long overdue apology, the midweek episode delivered the perfect blend of tension, remorse, and simmering intrigue. The show opened at Il Giardino, the spot where so many dark truths have come to light. Deke Sharp, nervously straightening his apron, tried to keep calm as he fielded questions from Hope, who'd come looking for clarity after catching whispers about his connection to Luna's recent chaos. Hope's intuition, sharpened by her years navigating manipulative men, told her Deke was hiding something. "Dad," she said, folding her arms, "every time you tell me you've changed, something new surfaces. What is it this time?" Dake's eyes darted away, but Hope wasn't giving him the out. She pressed harder, her voice softening just enough to sting. "You say you're not that man anymore, but your face gives you away." Deke tried to play it cool, but the tension broke when Deacon, the man who prided himself on his newfound honesty, slipped and mentioned protecting Luna. That stopped Hope cold. "Protecting Luna? From who? Or should I ask, from what you did?" The air froze. For a long beat, Deke couldn't even meet his daughter's eyes. Finally he confessed, not everything, but enough. He admitted that he had known about the secret regarding Luna's paternity weeks before it came out. He promised Poppy he wouldn't say a word, fearing it would blow up the entire Forrester Bill dynamic. Hope's voice cracked as she asked. So you let all this suffering happen? You let Finn, Luna, and Steffi tear each other apart while you play gatekeeper? The guilt was written all over his face. I didn't want to make things worse, sweetheart. I thought I was helping. Hope shook her head, disgusted. You thought wrong, you've learned nothing. Her words hit Deke harder than any slap. As Hope stormed out, Dake's face crumbled into something between remorse and dread, because he knew it was only a matter of time before the truth he tried to control would consume everyone else too. Across town at Spencer Publications, the mood was equally combustible. Katie Logan had arrived early, ready to finalize a charity proposal, but the morning turned tense when Bill walked in unannounced, holding a folder that wasn't work-related. Before you say a word, Katie began, already on edge. I can't handle another lecture about how much I mean to you, Bill. Not after what you've done to Luna's family. Bill's jaw tightened. He'd expected this confrontation. You think I wanted this chaos, Katie? I was lied to, manipulated. Deke, Poppy, they played me. Katie didn't flinch. You let your ego blind you. You wanted a fairy tale, the billionaire who saves the misunderstood woman and her daughter. But now you've wrecked two families, and for what? The tension between them, once laced with romantic chemistry, now burned with bitterness. Bill tried to defend himself, insisting he'd only wanted to help Poppy and Luna, that he'd been trying to do right by a young woman he once thought might be his daughter. Katie's eyes softened for a moment, but then she said, You can't keep rescuing people who lie to you, Bill. You did it with Quinn, with Brooke, and now with Poppy. Maybe the problem isn't them. Bill looked wounded but silent. For once, he had no slick defense. And then, just as things seemed to settle, Ivy Forrester walked in with impeccable timing. Her tone was firm yet measured. Ivy had been away long enough to see things clearly. BATE, reunited and arguing. Some things never change, Ivy quipped, her Australian lilt cutting through the tension. But maybe it's time you both stopped looking backward. Bill, your guilt isn't going to fix this. Katie, your resentment won't either. Katie rolled her eyes, but Ivy's words landed. Bill exhaled, shoulders slumping. Maybe you're right, he admitted. But the damage is done. Still, Ivy's words sparked something in both of them. A realization that perhaps they'd spent so long rehashing their past mistakes that they'd forgotten how to move forward. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Dr. Leigh Finnegan faced her own moment of reckoning. She had requested a private meeting with Luna, hoping it wasn't too late to make things right. Luna arrived reluctantly, arms folded, defensive. Leigh started carefully. I know I've said harsh things, Luna. Things no young woman should hear from her aunt. I can't take them back, but I can own them. Luna's eyes flickered with disbelief. You made me feel like I didn't belong. Like I was some mistake Poppy made. How do you apologize for that? Leigh's composure faltered. By admitting I was wrong. I was angry, not at you but at your mother, and at myself for not seeing the full truth sooner. Luna's lip trembled, but she stayed strong. So now that the truth's out, now that Bill's not my father, you think we can just pretend everything's fine? Leigh shook her head. No, but I'm hoping we can start over. The room filled with quiet emotion. For the first time, Luna saw her aunt not as the cold, unyielding surgeon, but as a woman haunted by her own pride. Leigh's sincerity broke through years of tension. As tears welled in Luna's eyes, she whispered, I don't know if I can forgive you yet. But thank you for saying it. Leigh reached out tentatively, and Luna didn't pull away. It wasn't full forgiveness, but it was something. The first crack of light through years of bitterness. Outside the room, Finn watched the exchange with quiet pride. His family, fractured as it was, finally seemed to be healing. At Forrester Creations, Rich was in rare form, pacing, restless, clearly preoccupied. He had just heard about Dake's involvement in Luna's secret and couldn't help but draw connections to Hope. I don't like that she's caught in this mess, he told Brooke. She's worked too hard to get out from under the shadow of all that drama. Brooke agreed, though her tone was more pragmatic. Hope has her father's stubbornness. She'll confront Deke head-on, and she'll do it with grace. She always does. Rich frowned. Grace doesn't protect you from heartbreak. Their conversation veered, as it often does, into familiar emotional territory. Regret, family, forgiveness. But this time, it wasn't just about Hope or Deke. Ridge was quietly stewing about something else. Bill Spencer's renewed aggression. Bill's back to playing the victim, Ridge muttered. And now Katie's stuck in the middle, again. Brooke gave him a look. Are you really worried about Katie, or are you jealous that Bill's getting all the attention? Ridge smirked, unwilling to answer. Let's just say I don't trust a man who builds towers in his own name and calls it humility. Their playful sparring couldn't disguise the deeper concern. Ridge knew that as long as Dake's deception continued to ripple across town, everyone at Forrester and Spencer would be caught in the undertow. Later that afternoon, a storm was brewing at Il Giardino once again. This time it wasn't Hope or Ivy or even Brooke who showed up. It was Bill. He strode in like a man on a mission, his signature scowl giving away his fury. You and I need to talk, he growled, catching Deke mid-shift. Deke stiffened, instantly defensive. If this is about Luna. Bill cut him off. It's about you lying to my face. You knew the truth and let me make a fool of myself. Deke tried to reason with him, but Bill wasn't hearing it. You let me think that girl might be my daughter. You let me pour my heart into that family, all while you were sitting on the truth like some smug puppet master. Deke slammed a glass down on the counter. I was trying to protect her. You would have destroyed Poppy if I hadn't. Bill leaned forward, his voice low and dangerous. You don't get to decide who gets destroyed, Deacon. You don't have that kind of power. The tension was palpable. For a moment, it looked like things might get physical. But before it could escalate, Ivy entered, again at the perfect time, and placed herself between the two men. That's enough, she said firmly. You're both acting like this is about pride. It's not. It's about a young woman who's been through enough. Bill stepped back, his rage cooling into regret. Deke muttered an apology, but the damage was done. The confrontation marked a turning point, not just for them, but for everyone connected to Luna's tangled lineage. Back at the cabin, Hope sat alone, reflecting on the day's revelations. Her father's lies, Bill's anger, the constant cycle of secrets, it all weighed heavily on her. But rather than crumble, she decided to channel her pain into something constructive. She picked up her sketchbook, the one she hadn't touched in weeks, and began to draw. The designs that emerged weren't just fashion. They were her story, her resilience, her identity. When Brooke stopped by to check on her, she found Hope surrounded by sketches of flowing fabrics and bold lines, strength and femininity personified. Those are beautiful, Brooke said softly. You're turning pain into art. Hope smiled faintly. It's the only thing I know how to do. Brooke hugged her, proud but heartbroken. You've always been stronger than you think, sweetheart. Don't let your father's choices define you. Hope nodded, her eyes glistening. Maybe it's time I stopped trying to fix everyone else and just focus on myself. The episode closed on a quiet, bittersweet note. Deke sat alone outside Il Giardino, the weight of his choices pressing heavily on him. The night air was cool, the city buzzing around him, but he felt completely alone. He pulled out his phone and stared at a message draft to Hope. It read, I'm sorry for every time I let you down. I'll make it right. Somehow, but he didn't send it. Instead, he pocketed the phone and stared out at the skyline. A man lost between guilt and redemption. At the same time, in a parallel scene, Lai watched Luna laughing softly with Finn in the hospital corridor. For the first time in months, Lai smiled. A real, unguarded smile. Maybe, just maybe, there was hope for their fractured family after all. And at Spencer Publications, Katie closed the door to her office, leaving Bill alone in the dim light. He picked up a photo of their family and sighed, whispering to himself, maybe Ivy's right. Maybe it's time to stop living in the past. Wednesday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful was a tapestry of redemption, regret, and revelation. Dake's deception served as the catalyst for long overdue reckonings, forcing Bill, Katie, lie, and even hope to confront uncomfortable truths about forgiveness and responsibility. The theme of the day was accountability. Everyone wanted to make things right, but not everyone knew how. Deke learned that good intentions can still destroy lives. Bill learned that guilt doesn't equate to redemption. Lai discovered that humility can heal what pride once broke. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our BOLD and BUTIFUL UPDATE YouTube channel for more update news.